Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new training. So today we are going to talk through Alex Hormozi's funnel. If you didn't know, every towards the end of every month, I go live with a training of what is working in the funnels world, and this is your chance to get some insights that you don't have to go through the pain of figuring out yourself. So you just take the lessons from me, who, again, someone who's on the front lines of funnels every day, every week, not only for my own funnels and marketing, but for my clients, the good and the bad, right? The lessons and the successes. So this month we've had some great success. One of my clients is now booking in anywhere from 4 to 6 calls a day, and that was coming from zero previous about a couple of months ago. So we were really happy with the progress of his funnel. And so yeah, a bunch going on, a bunch of projects in progress as well that I just cannot wait to launch. And um, another good win. Again, I'll get into this in today's training, but another client of mine who one of the great successes has been wanting to launch a new offer. And there's a hard way and a wrong way and a right way, which is much easier, right? The hard wrong way is you want to launch a new offer, so you create everything. You spend 2 months making all the stuff for your offer, and then you come up with some huge, like incredible marketing plan. You dump thousands in ads on it, and then you launch it and see what happens. The easy, efficient way, the right way is you take the essence of what the offer does and the outcome of the offer, and you put together a very quick waitlist page. And the goal is to get validation on, are people signing up for the waitlist? And if they are, then you know that there is demand. And if they're not, well, let's make some tweaks and launch another waitlist, right? So my client has now got a full-on waitlist of incredible fits for a brand new offer. And now he's in control of whenever he has it ready, he can launch it, and there's already demand right there. Okay. So this is the sort of stuff we talk about in the Shine Funnels Academy. But like I say, today we are going to go through this stuff right here with Mr. Hormozi because it's a great time with him having done this launch to talk about funnel strategy and what works at the highest level. We've never seen stuff like this before, as in the creativity and the effort that he put in is like beyond what is typical, right? And whenever that happens in our industry, we should learn and we should model it. Now, as you guys know, I'm just going to bring this up. This is the holy grail funnel system, right? No matter what business it is, this is the funnel system that works. Okay. Expensive stuff, one time or monthly, cheaper stuff, or free stuff. All right. Every single successful coaching business and or normal business falls into this. Okay. And what I'm going to talk about today is exactly how Alex used the 3 funnel system to have a great launch and to see how you can model it. Right. So I'm also learning a ton from his launch, from the funnel, the offer, and how he went about it. And so let's get right into it. The first thing to mention is the free level. Okay. Oftentimes you think that when you give away freebies and lead magnets, that it has to be some kind of Google Doc or checklist, or that's what it used to be, right? You give away a resource, a PDF, and you get their email address and then kind of spam them with emails for the next 2 weeks, hoping that they'll book a call or buy your thing. But it doesn't quite work as well nowadays. Okay, so what is working in the world of funnels? Whenever you do a free thing, it should be very intentional to what the next level will be. All right. Now, the reason I love, again, I talk about also a lot Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Russell Brunson, like these guys use their freebies very strategically. As in, they don't just give away some cheap PDF that AI could have written for anyone, but what do? They do live Zoom streams. Okay, so this is actually like the couple things that you can do in this kind of new freebie model is webinars, video courses, and live streams. Okay. Sometimes the webinar is live for sure, but sometimes it's pre-recorded. But what we're trying to get into the habit of is now when you are making free stuff, you are doing it with the intention of moving them up the ladder. Okay. So when you do things live, interactive, you're on video, which is hugely valuable, huge for building trust. Then when you talk about the next step, it's just a way easier upsell because, well, people are pretty much getting the closest thing possible to what that next level will be. So first, I wanted to bring your attention to the fact that the free level that Alex has chosen is a live webinar. Okay, that is what these 3 days were, where he, again, if we go to his channel, he went live for 3 days in a row and he just hammered this book launch and the offer. All right. The first live stream stuff, the first hour was literally the perfect webinar done to a T. Okay. But why this was powerful is that was his lead magnet. He wasn't just giving away some PDF. He was bringing people in to the perfect environment to teach them about the next level. All right. So mistake number one with your free stuff is just giving away anything and hoping people upsell, right? The correct strategy is what is your expensive stuff going to be and how can you bring them into the perfect environment to learn about that? Okay. That doesn't mean you don't give value, right? He did not do a pitch fest. He gave an hour of solid value and lessons from the new book. And then he started to teach the offer, right? And even then, he started doing phone calls and teaching things, the whole entire live stream here. Okay. Now, moving on to the second level. So if you're with me, make sure you drop a comment. If this is cool for you, like a simple way of learning funnels, then just let me know in the comments. So here's cheaper stuff now. Beyond the free, everyone's come to the free, right? As we know, the free level is great because it's where the majority of your audience can go, right? Everyone can afford free. So it just attracts the most audience. Now, once they are in that environment, the live stream, the webinar, the 3-day challenge, whatever it is, you can then sell cheaper stuff. All right. So don't get it wrong. He was selling a 6K offer and we can get it. I'll find it. Here you go. So he was selling this 6K offer, but what was his cheaper stuff? Right. He has a very strong plan in here to get you into school. So school, he actually had it was /Hormozi. So this is what he's just launched, right? A 90-day free trial followed by $9 a month. And that is one of his cheaper stuff. Okay. The other one is the book on its own. So basically, by anchoring you at 6K, he's making it super easy for you to be like, actually, I just want the book, right? And that kind of $20 or $30, whatever it is, becomes a no-brainer because, well, you can't afford 6K. And then like $30 down here is so easy to just get. The same way the 90-day free trial is like $9 at the end of 3 months. Like that's a no-brainer. And so you can imagine for him, the monthly cheaper stuff, if he gets enough thousands of people onto that plan in 3 months' time, that $9 is going to start to build up into a nice chunk of extra monthly income. All right. So the book, the upsells from the book is also how he's maximizing revenue with cheaper stuff and school. Okay. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. He also, with the free event, as you all should, had a bump of VIP, right? Which is very common in these kind of live events. And that's another way of maximizing revenue. Again, when you give away free stuff, you're not just doing it for the sake of like losing money and time. You're giving away free stuff so that they hear about your cheap and expensive stuff. All right. So I hope this makes sense for you. Comment it if it does or doesn't, and I'll explain it further. So then the final level, expensive stuff, right? The 6,000 offer is his expensive stuff. So very straightforward, but the way that he leveraged it is something that I recently, well, not recently, but one of my favorite lessons from Russell. So we'll call, I'm just going to search this up for you guys. His linchpin book. So in the linchpin, he talks about this model right here. I'm actually going to, let's try and pop this image open bigger. So what Russell Brunson talks about, and by the way, if you didn't know this, Alex Hormozi is one of the best case studies of Russell Brunson's coaching. And then he eventually like started doing his own thing and overtook Russell. But Alex came from Russell's strategies, inner circle, like all of that. That's why they're very similar. So the whole idea of Russell Brunson's linchpin model is that you are leveraging this thing called a most incredible free gift ever, right? This MIFGI thing here. And then you are leveraging that free gift to get people into your offer, right? Whether that is a one-time or a monthly offer. So Russell talks about it here. You do a dramatic demonstration. That was Alex Hormozi's live streams. You talk about the free gift, which is all of his systems and playbooks and the workshop and all of that, right? Then you are getting into the offer to get that free gift. So then it's like, you would pay that for the books anyway, but he's leveraging all of these free things to encourage the purchase of 200 books, which is super creative, by the way. So does this make sense? It's actually really simple. Like this graphic is a little complicated for some people, but it's very much just here's a bunch of stuff that you are paying for, but we are pretending that it's free and only putting the price on like one thing. All right. So you often see this. I actually tried this myself and I had my ultimate go high level funnels bundle, right? I'm gonna search it for you here. And my MIFGI is you'll get all of this for free as a yearly academy member, right? So this sells normally, you'll see the price point here. It sells for £197, right? But you can get it free as a £300 a year member. So you're kind of getting the bundle for free and only paying for the academy, right? And that's exactly what he has done. And that's his expensive stuff. But there goes a level beyond. You see, like any good business, expensive stuff and cheaper stuff, they all have their own levels within them as well. So what you're seeing here with the 3 funnel system will actually carry forwards, and expensive stuff will have its own system. So for example, and you would have learned about all of this in the training if you've been through the course in pillar 1. Let's just call this expensive stuff system, right? This level 1 here is like Hormozi's, hormones, that's not good. Hormozi's 6K offer, all right? But then there is going to be even more stuff after that. So what I would say his most expensive one is like the one-to-one kind of investment portfolio client, where he has equity in your company. I don't know what kind of upfront fee you pay, but I'm assuming it's a ton plus the equity. And that's his like top level. The other level is, I think he does like masterminds in person. And these are like other high ticket masterminds. So you have to be making like over 500K a year to be part of those masterminds. But now you can see that it's not just about the free stuff. So we can literally draw this out, right? This would be his webinar 3-day challenge lives. Okay, the cheaper stuff, the book, the bumps, and school. And his expensive stuff is the 6K offer, right? And then it goes into this beyond the 6K offer. Okay, does this make sense to everybody, right? I really want you to understand how powerful this is, because now he knows that to the point that he can get as many people into that webinar, the 3-day live, it might even be a 1-day live or a 3-hour live. Like he knows that he can sell these offers. And on the front end, what he spends on ads, he probably makes back with the book, the bumps, and school. And then it's literally a bonus by pitching the 6K offer to anybody who's on that webinar, right? And then the select clients in that 6K offer are going to go and end up going to the different levels. In fact, there was even one more, right? It was the 24K offer where you got invited to work with his team or whatever, right? So again, he's just adding level after level after level. And Tony Robbins does the same. So you start off with a free challenge, 3 days. Then you join, you get his books. Like, let's do Tony. So he does a yearly 3 day challenge. Then he has books. He has UPW Virtual, which is his cheapest event, and he has his monthly. So he has like an inner circle and a biz one, right? A business one. So it's 97 a month for the inner circle, 129 a month for the business one. Then the expensive stuff is like in-person UPW or Date with Destiny, right? Which is 5,995 at this time. And UPW is, anywhere from like 1K, 1 to 5K, depending on what seat you actually get. Okay. Whereas Date with Destiny is more all the same. But then when you're in Tony's world, the next thing he sells at those events is a 10K business mastery or 10K mastery university or 15K for both. Okay. And then from that, he has his 85K a year platinum partners like that. And then beyond that, I don't even know. Okay. There will be some kind of like multi-year sub, or there'll be even more like exclusive events or speaking, all kinds of stuff that we don't even know about because we're not the right fit for that level, right? This is how you should set up your business. Okay. The whole reason of giving away free stuff is to make people excited about the next level, right? It is to create the permission to pitch the cheaper stuff and the expensive stuff. You don't just give away free stuff and leave it there. You'll drown your bank account and nothing happens, right? So ditch the PDFs, create meaningful freebies, live challenges, webinars where you can actually do a demonstration, just like what Russell talks about here. You can talk about all the value and then you can talk about the offer as well. All right. So this is something that I'm personally really excited about because if you've been in the academy for a long time, you'll know how I market, my products and all of that. And so I'm transitioning for the rest of this year and next year into really meaningful, interactive freebies, interactive, cheap products that just give people a ton more value, quite frankly, and allow them to get to know me and trust me on a level that would not be possible through a PDF or a checklist or some like empty level of value. Because again, what are the next levels for me? You join the academy, right? You get bi-weekly training, you get my whole course, all my templates and everything. And then the next level is my done for you service on a retainer or one time. And it's like, if someone's going to be a good fit for that, well, they should probably get to know me. They should probably meet me, hear me, get taught by me, or at least, hear me speak. And so that is exactly why you're watching this video. That's exactly why I wanted to share this lesson with you guys. Okay. So the final lesson then, just one last lesson, just to show you one of the things that Alex has done very smartly. And it is this notion of delayed gratification. All right. One of the things that Alex has done really, really well is with things like the school group. Okay. He is using 90 days as this kind of delayed gratification to welcome on a bunch more subscriptions to the software, right? So he knows in 90 days, not everybody is going to continue, but he knows that the people who do by that point are going to stick around for a long, long time. Okay. Another thing of delayed gratification, things like, what do you call it? He knows that once you're into this 6K offer, it's only a matter of time before you upsell into something bigger. Do you know what I mean? So you're going to end up like going to that virtual workshop where he's surely going to pitch another product. And he knows that the LTV, the lifetime value, is going to come back over time. All right. But now you're also probably wondering, but one of the things he teaches in the Money Models book is how can you make more than you've paid for the customer in the first 30 days, right? That's one of the formulas. I wonder if I can probably find it in here somewhere. I don't know where it would be, so I'm not going to waste time finding it. But if how can you use a balance between delayed gratification and also aiming to get more profit in that first 30 days than what you've paid for? So that's where he uses very smartly a combination of upsells and bumps to encourage more money to be spent on the front end. So it wasn't just about launching this free event, but again, he also had the VIP upgrade. And then when you go to buy the book on his website, you can also do an order bump to get, I think it's 2 more copies plus like this extra product that is sold nowhere else, right? So you might come in as a free lead for this event, but you are surely going to be attracted by the prospect of joining his VIP and then buying the book in the meantime, getting the upsells and that. So when it's all said and done, he's probably made the majority of his ad spend back before this whole incredible pitch, which has made him, nearly $100 million in a weekend, which is just mind-boggling. So, last thing to share, this was my favorite story about this thing of delayed gratification, right? It was actually in Russell Brunson's 10K course. So the what do you call it? Prime Mover, right? You may have heard of it. If you're in there, let me know. That'd be cool. We can talk about it. And he brings on this guy to talk about webinar funnels and this idea of delayed gratification. And so basically what he'd done is, and he's done a lot of webinars in the past, but from his experience, he had come to this nice rhythm. And he knew he was doing a new webinar. He had a $1,000 product to sell on the webinar. And he had spent something like 700K on ads. Ridiculous level of money to get people into a free webinar. But using low ticket products, just like Alex has done with the VIP, the book, the bumps, the upsells, he actually nearly made that whole 700K back before the webinar even started. Now, remember, the most powerful thing about a webinar is being able to not only teach, but sell a decent mid to high ticket product. And so basically the story was not only did he make near enough all of his ad spend back from just low ticket products, literally like $17 or 27 or something on the webinar, he was able to get so many people onto the webinar from spending $700,000, obviously. But then when he came to sell the 1,000 product, he made something like $2.5 million off the back of that live webinar, generating an insane ROI, a crap ton of revenue, crap ton of clients. And quite frankly, the profit involved there is just silly. And so it was this idea of like, I know we're going to spend this money up front, but sometimes you have to consider two things. If you're not making profit on the front end, as in you're not quite liquidating all of your ad spend, that's okay, because what are you actually buying? You're buying the assets in which you are going to pitch to. So you are buying the future clients that are going to see your offer. And then this is on the highest level, what this guy did, right? He invested 700K into the assets of who would then become a $1,000 customer. And as I've already told you, not only would he have made profit from that deal alone, but he was able to actually just reduce the risk by offering cheaper stuff on the front end before the webinar. Okay, so I also know someone else did this very recently. I can't remember her name, but this lady did a webinar teaching an ad strategy, right? And she was blasting ads, so it was going really popular. And the first thing when you signed up for free, you would see a $17 workbook about the webinar. So you can download the workbook and like do your homework or whatever. And I cannot imagine how much money that would have made her. It might not have covered all of her cost, definitely not. But imagine if you could just reduce that risk even more and then buy all of these assets to then show your high ticket offer to, right? And this is what excites me so much about funnels this month. Okay, not only the high ticket waitlist strategy, right? You quick launch, you get it out there, test the demand and validate your idea, but then using the other levels once you've got that in place to bring potential clients in just a more trusting way, in a way that will allow you to, again, just have the best environment to create curiosity for the next level. All right. So if you enjoyed Alex Hormozi's event and you took a lot from this video, please leave a comment and let me know. And if you have any other ideas, just give me a shout. Okay. You can find me on Instagram, Joshua Gibbons _ and you'll find me. But yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. This community, this environment, the Shine Funnels Academy, anyone who's in my world, we are here to shine, right? And what that really means is getting over the chaos. We're here to set up a funnel system that we are proud of, that is simple enough for your brain to understand it. Not only your brain, but for your prospects' brains to understand it. Once you get that simple system in place, you can finally go about advertising it smartly, where you're not wasting money, you're testing things, and you're launching funnels in the correct order. And when you do all of that, you can just shine, right? You can create what you want to create, stuff that fuels you, excites you, and you can attract better. Because again, when you're desperate and you're making freebie funnels or selling low ticket products just to get money, like I say, it's desperate. Even you don't really connect with it fully. And so the idea is we can help you get in your best energy, have this system in place where you can just get creative, have fun, doing 3-day challenges, live webinars, like making whatever you want to make that is going to serve the next level in your funnel system. Okay, so remember this one key question. What is the next level your customer is going to see, right? How can you tease that, create curiosity for what is that next level going to be for them? All right. And you'll never make products the same again with that being in mind. Okay. You'll never waste 2 months creating a low ticket product from scratch, which has nothing really to do with your high ticket services. Everything's intentional. Everything is quick and efficient, right? And you're not wasting money. So it's been a pleasure. I hope you guys have the best rest of your week. Go away and apply this stuff, right? Don't just watch Hormozi and be excited by it. Go and try some of what he did. That's what I'm going to do. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.